Colorado. Just elide the N instead of the L. Yeah. Well, these are the jokes, folks. It's so great to have you on the show, Colby. See,
Thanks,
it's
RFM.
Colby.
You're assuming Bill's going to watch.
No. I'm just trying to make sure everybody out there realizes, because somebody apparently thought I said Kobe once. And I didn't do it intentionally. The L just may have been very quickly said. Colby. That's not an easy name to say, is it?
No, it's super fun to have that as your name growing up, for sure.
Okay. Well, anyway, we are going to have so much fun tonight. And here's the thing. Welcome to the Post-Mormon Lounge at Mormonism After Dark, everybody, where all the cool cats come to hang out after a tough week, to relax and rejuvenate with family and friends. Welcome to the Post-Mormon Lounge. And look at that moon. It's beautiful. That's like a blue moon. We had a blue moon recently. Did you know that, Colby?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I even saw it. And so that was just great. It wasn't this big. It was this tiny little blue moon. You know, they have the super moons when the earth and the moon are closer together, and then they have a micro moon or whatever they call it when it's far apart. Yeah. Anyway, this has been a heck of a week, I've got to say, because it's been going crazy. I mean, just say Lego and you already know things are crazy. So Rebecca covers that story on Monday's newscast, and then we throw together this We Told You So, right, on Mormonism Live.
Yeah.
Which is doing incredibly well. I've got to tell you, it's got over 20,000 views. I attribute it all to the thumbnail, which I created. We Told You So. And it was just putting together the information in Jeff Strong's new book, Torn. About 40% of the active membership leaving the LDS Church in the last 25 years. And
you know, it's funny. You two aren't the only ones who are reacting to Jeff Strong's book, because our dear clout shark, Jacob Hansen, has been responding to it yesterday and today. And I'm looking forward to responding to that myself.
Okay. So we were talking about it, and what we did was, did you see the show? I think you were in the live chat, at least for the last part. So we took that information of what's going on the last 25 years, and then we sort of mapped it onto all the things that the church has been doing to change things, to make it where we've been saying it's obvious it's shrinking. Plus, then we mapped it on all the statements of church leaders, et cetera, saying that the church is growing. And not only is it growing, it's growing faster than it's ever grown in the history of the world, since Adam and Eve walked out of the Garden of Eden, which is funny because all they have to do is have one kid, and the church has already grown by 50%. I'm not sure it's the most in the entire world. They have 2 kids. That's 100%. We're stuck down much lower than that, even according to the church numbers. And then this morning, I'm getting up, and Rebecca's texting me wanting to know what attorneys are representing the plaintiffs, the Lego company. BAM is the name, or the acronym for the name of the Lego company, that is suing a bunch of people, including this Reckless Ben, podcaster, YouTuber.
Right.
And so I said, I don't know. I don't have access to this. And I thought, well, I know somebody who does. And so it's a Salt Lake attorney. He's a friend of mine. And so I just texted him and said, hey, do you have this? And so he sent it to me. And so I've got it. I'm telling Rebecca, I've got it. And it's not Curtin McConkie. It's just, you got the complaint? Yeah. We should do that. It's 95 pages, Rebecca. We should do that. We have to do a pop-up podcast, a newscast. Oh, my. And that's mainly because I have an interview, a 3-hour interview already scheduled this morning. And she had an interview too. So we both had to reschedule, and Bill couldn't make it. So it was me and Rebecca going through this 95-page complaint. It only took us 4.5 hours, Colby. We started at 9:30 my time. 9:30 my time, a specific time. And 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2 o'clock. And thankfully, Rebecca was there and spelled me occasionally. So otherwise, I don't think I'd have a voice left tonight. Some people might think that's not a bad thing. That background music, that was really nice. Oh, I see what it's doing there. I'm sorry, I'm playing with it over here, and never mind. I'm not going to start it again. So that's what's been going on here. And now we've got this, and I'm so glad that you're here because I know that you've been assembling a few things that are really of interest, not the normal things we talk about here. And you bring some of your own professional life into it. But let me ask you before you get to your professional life, what
Sure.
do you think of Hansen saying about this? Is he agreeing with it? Is it making him divided? Is it making him confused?
There is so much confusion. No, I think if we look closely at Jacob's videos,
Mm,
what we see is someone who is engaged in some desperate coping. Really, he's arguing with Jeff Strong's data. Regardless of what criticisms you may have of Jeff Strong's data, which I do think, Ryan Cragen was on Steve Pineker's show talking about some methodological, I don't want to say problems, but limitations of Jeff Strong's data that is going
mm,
into his book Torn.
mhm.
Um, but that's not what Jacob's doing. Jacob's just responding to it like in his normal reactionary way. He just needs this to not be true. So he did a two-part video series talking about why people really leave the church and what the real answer to them leaving the church is. And I don't want to spoil it for everybody because I will probably be reacting to it or responding to it. I mean,
Really? I
but
hope I get honorable mention.
sure, of course.
Does he mention me?
Um, no, he doesn't mention you.
Oh,
You are not the real reason people are leaving the
okay.
church. I'm sorry to
Oh,
tell you. But yeah, Jacob just continually is straw manning secular humanism. So, for example, he says that like in Christianity, the center is Christ. In secular humanism, the center is yourself. And it's like, well, I think it's actually kind of in the name, Jacob. In secular humanism, the center of your worldview is humans, humanity, other people, which
oh,
incorporates other people. So, anyways, there's just a lot of stuff where, it's hilarious to me the irony that Jeff Strong is trying to move the church with his book Torn in a more compassionate, understanding way.
yes.
And there would be no better example of someone who wants to go the other direction than Jacob. So, like the
Mm,
people that Jeff is pointing to when he talks about the problem being church culture, which I agree with your guys' criticisms of that on Wednesday's show. It's just funny to me that Jacob has the self-awareness of a bull in a china shop and just leans in and is like, I've got to criticize and tell everybody why people are really leaving the church based on my opinion, my vibes.
So is he
You know what I
agreeing
mean?
that 40% of the active membership have left the church in the last 25 years? Does he agree with that
Mm,
part?
he doesn't really get to that as
Oh,
far as
it's
I
all about
remember.
why they're leaving. That's what he
Yes.
talks about.
Yeah, his basic thesis is people are leaving because they become secular, and it's about the secularization of the mind and the secularization of the heart, and it's just
I
a
left
lot
because
of
I found out the church was lying to me.
yeah. Well, that would be secularization of the mind, I guess he would say. But I
Really?
just think it's hilarious that Jeff Strong puts together an actual study with actual data. He has expertise in the topic, and Jacob comes along and says, nope, that doesn't agree with the narrative I've been selling, so that must be wrong. It's just hilarious, the guy's arrogance.
Yes, forget about why you say you left the church. Let me tell you why you left the church.
Mhm. So I had to comment on his video and say,
Oh, yeah?
"Jacob, do you wanna talk to an actual ex-Mormon about the reasons that everything you said in this video was wrong? Or does your, they talk with us but not about us rule only apply to other people?"
It
So,
does.
yeah,
It
I know.
does.
I'm aware.
The whole reason he says that is to try and goad people into debating him when he
Mhm.
wants to debate them, which he
Yeah,
doesn't want you to, and he doesn't want me to.
correct.
He wants to debate idiots about non-Mormon things, and I shouldn't say that because they're not idiots, but he wants to debate non-experts about Mormonism, and more importantly, what he wants to do is not talk about Mormonism at all. And he will debate
Correct.
on ancillary issues to Mormonisms like the Godhead. But when it comes to arguing the Godhead, as I understand, I haven't seen all of his debates, believe me. He's not going to say, well, Joseph Smith saw God the Father and Jesus Christ in the sacred grove, and so they're separate, right? So the Trinity isn't true. He's not going to go there. He's going to do this kind of biblical slash church fathers kind of argument to
Mhm.
try and argue the Mormon position from non-Mormon sources. Is that fair?
Mhm. Yeah, I
That's
think
pretty
that's
much
very accurate. Yep.
because he doesn't want to bring Mormonism into it because he knows he'll get his ass kicked.
Yep.
As soon as he opens the door on the first vision, well, hello, 1832.
Mm-hmm.
And so it
Yeah, and
goes.
that's why I don't even really consider Jacob to be engaged really in apologetics. He's really just engaged in making propaganda. Like honestly, that's what he's doing.
Yes. Yeah, I think so too. He really is. And he talked in a recent thing where he made an appearance or somewhere. Where was it? You'll know. Where he just very openly stated what it is that he does, which is he tries to, I think it was generally unquotable. She had
Oh
a
yeah,
recent
when she was
dissection.
responding. Yep.
That's what it was. And it was about how he says, I what I do is I come up with a subject to debate on that puts them on the defensive.
Hmm.
That's his whole
Yeah.
thing. He doesn't want to defend Mormonism. What he wants to is to offend other people. He wants to be on the offensive so that they have to. He wants to know what you believe so he can attack it.
Yeah.
While in the rules that he sets up before the debate, he takes his beliefs off the table and says we can't talk about them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That is exactly right. Yep. That's why
Yeah.
I constantly say that he's allergic to burdens of proof.
And he's a quisling. Yes, Jacob, you're a quisling. Okay, so now, having established that Jacob Hansen is indeed a quisling, what did you want to talk about? Let's see. We have some slides here. Here's the thumbnail. There's your picture. There's your name, Colby Reddish. It's got an L in it and everything.
Yeah, well, I just thought it would be fun, aside from just the conversations that you and I have had on your channel, or we've done a few episodes of Mormonism Live together. We also just have interesting conversations on the phone sometimes. And I thought,
Yeah.
especially just based on the type of show the Mormonism After Dark is, I thought it would be kind of fun because one of the things we share, aside from our interest in Mormonism and critiquing Mormonism, is our background in the legal field. So for folks who are unaware, I'm also a practicing attorney that lives and works in Idaho. And I thought it would be fun to kind of swap war stories. I know that when we've done, in fact, the first collaboration you and I ever did back before we were doing video was what Mormonism can teach us about the legal field. That was one episode I pitched you that you were nice enough to humor me expanding into 3 because we prepped way too much material.
3. Oh my gosh, I thought you were going to talk about the rules of evidence.
That's what we did. Yeah. It started as Mormonism and the Rules of Evidence, and then it expanded to 3 episodes.
Oh my word.
So,
Okay. That went in a
so
Brody Award.
it did. That's true. Yeah. Our
Yeah.
first Brody Award
I
together.
gave it to you so you could put it on your mantle.
Ah, thank you. It's off frame for sure. Don't worry about it, Bill. Anyways, I thought it would be fun to swap. I prepared 2 stories,
Did you call
2
me
of my
Bill?
well, I was talking about Brody's, so I was saying, don't worry, my Brody's off screen, Bill. Like when he watches.
Ah, thank you. Okay, got it.
Mhm.
Thank you. You did say Bill, just not to me.
I did say Bill, but not to you. So yeah, I prepped 2 stories, and I kind of wanted to frame these. If you'll go to the next slide.
That tie you
Well,
have on in this picture looks like a tie a missionary might wear.
actually, that tie I'm wearing in that picture and this tie that I'm wearing right now are both mission ties. I actually kind of refuse to buy new ties. I was telling RFM right before the show, my rule for ties is they have to be composed entirely of polyester and they have to be older than me. So those are my 2 rules for ties. So if you
Yeah.
like Wembley ties, shout out to my Wembley fans in
Really? Well,
the live
wonderful.
chat.
It was a good
Yeah.
guess by me, but I had a hint in advance. So did you want me to go here?
Yeah, because I thought this was funny, and it actually will kind of serve as framing for swapping these war stories that I had planned on doing. So I actually found this. Someone posted it like months ago to the Exmo Reddit, just in the memes section, and I hadn't seen it until someone sent it to me. And I just thought this was hilarious because I did a recent LDS discussions episode where I wasn't wearing flannel. And so the joke here is in the top image where I'm not wearing flannel, I'm speaking as a man. In the bottom where I am wearing flannel and I'm happy, I am speaking as some rando on the internet. And that cracked me up. And, uh, one of the things I think has been kind of fun about the whole rando on the internet thing is that was an insult or a purported insult that Jacob Hansen tried to use in an excuse to not debate me.
Yes.
And
You were just a
one of the
rando, and he doesn't debate just randos.
Yeah, that's right. And so one of the reasons I just have leaned into that is because I hope to always be a rando on the internet. And what I mean by that is where the rest of my life happens is like where the majority of my life happens is not on YouTube. I don't need to make myself feel important on YouTube like Jacob does to feel like I'm important or have done meaningful things in my life. I have a family, I have a
Mm,
career that I'm very happy with. And that's one of the reasons that I love leaning into the whole rando on the internet thing because here's a pro tip to people. If someone is trying to insult you,
mm.
making the insult part of like getting in on the joke and making their insult a joke makes it lose all of its power. So it's been very fun to lean into the rando on the internet thing, and seeing this just made my day. So if whoever made this is watching, thank you because this definitely made my day after a really long, hard week. So can you move to the
That's
next
nice.
slide, or do you have
That's
any
nice.
thoughts on
And
that?
that was very creative and very funny.
Mhm.
There you go.
So, what I wanted to share, because I'm going to share one story from my time as a prosecutor and one story from my time kind of in appellate practice.
Mhm.
And I did think it'd be kind of interesting to talk about the difference between trial lawyers and appellate lawyers. So, appellate lawyers are the lawyers that argue either to courts of appeals or to their state Supreme Courts or even like the US Supreme Court, if you make it to that level. And the difference between appellate work and trial work is trial work, having done a little bit of both, trial work is about fighting about what the facts are, usually, right? You're fighting about pieces of evidence, you're fighting about what witnesses are going to say, you're fighting to keep evidence out. And one of the things I think is so impressive about you and the way your mind works, and the reason I love collaborating with you, and I think we make a great duo, is because your experience as a trial lawyer makes you expert at commenting on the things that affect people's credibility and assessing people's credibility, the internal inconsistencies in their own story. I'm constantly impressed at the way you're able to use that. I can see it as a lawyer myself in the way that you evaluate church history figures, church history facts, and stories from the different people involved. The difference between trial work then and appellate work is about fighting about what the law itself is, and or what it should be, what the interpretation of it should be when we have a novel question that's never really been settled by an appellate court before. And so appellate law is oftentimes about fighting about technicalities, fighting about very specific language. And that kind of has been the way my career has evolved is I've been lucky enough to do a handful of oral arguments in front of both the Idaho Supreme Court and the Idaho Court of Appeals and absolutely love that work. Like you just live in an appellate record and the thing I love about appellate work is unlike trial work, there are no surprises in appellate work. Like I'm often prepping the briefing, which is the writing component that goes into arguing an appellate case, and then the oral argument, you know, months, sometimes years in advance of the actual decision being rendered by the court. And so if people are ever wondering like why I often make three arguments when I could just make one argument, it's because that's what appellate law is kind of is you're making these alternative arguments
Mm.
and trying to win in multiple different ways. And I don't know, do you have any thoughts on that, on how you feel like your experience as a trial lawyer has made you a valuable addition to this space? Because I know I wanted to share my perspective.
Well, I will thank you for the compliment and not say anything further about that, but there's an old saying about what is it? The trial court, is it the judges? I think it's the judges. And at the
Mhm.
trial, the judge, it's like a battle and they shoot up people on both sides. But the appellate judges, once you go on appeal, what the appellate judges do is they come down from the hill and they shoot the survivors. Is that
Yeah.
funny? I may have not have gotten it exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
Well, thank you. I thought it was funny, at least when I heard it the original time. A story from your time as a prosecutor. This will be interesting, I know. Can I
Yeah.
tell you I
I
could tell you a story here, but I'll tell you some other time. It's not that big a deal. It's like the one time you make arguments, okay? Whether it's in trial court or on appellate court, argue, argue, argue. And almost never do your arguments amount to a hill of beans because you've already submitted your briefing, you already submitted your exhibits to the judge, and the judge presumably has looked at them. And even if the judge hasn't looked at them, which happens more often than you may think, um, they're already going to decide a certain way on this. There's nothing about what you say that's gonna change their mind if they're against you, regardless of whether you're the defense or the prosecutor. And it's kind of a dog and pony show, but it's
Mhm.
expected. And, there was one time when I was arguing an appellate case, and I came up with this creative way that wasn't in my briefing the night before, and it wasn't changing anything, but it was making an argument by analogy, and it was basically, if A is true, which is what they're saying, right? If A is true and this would apply in this circumstance, then B would have to be true and it would have to apply over here. And that's ridiculous. Therefore, A can't be
Mm.
correct. And the judge actually said when she came back and issued a ruling, I'm on the phone because it's down in Olympia and I'm up here. So I didn't have to drive. Um, that she changed her mind about it because of that argument.
Hmm.
And she couldn't see me, which is good because I was dancing around the office. I was so
Mhm.
happy. I couldn't believe it. Pump in the air. Yeah. My argument changed the judge's mind.
Mhm.
That's so exciting as an attorney, something I'll never forget, obviously.
But you're right, it's very rare because I started my career as a clerk for an appellate court, and, I would say more often than not, if the decision changed at oral argument, it's because someone snatched defeat from the jaws of victory instead of the inverse. That
Mhm.
they there's that aphorism, um, "Pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered," and I think sometimes people almost push their argument too far at oral
Mhm.
argument. I definitely have seen I at least the judge I work for, I remember at least one distinct time that he changed his mind based on oral argument, thinking like, "Oh, I don't wanna go down that road," seeing the way
Right.
that they represented that.
Oops.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think it was Ambrose Bierce who said that a lawsuit is an instrument which you enter as pigs and exit as sausage.
Yeah, everyone wants to talk you know this very well, but every client wants to talk about how it's about the principle of the thing until they get their first month of actual litigation and discovery, as an invoice, you know what I mean?
Yes, when they get the bill.
Yeah. Well, my brief story from my time as a prosecutor, I think just
Mm,
kind of reflects the way I looked at my job as a prosecutor. I took a lot of pride in that job. I know you also were a prosecutor for longer than I was, but I thought it would be a fun story to tell because it's one where I lost the case. So I'm spoiling the result for you.
mhm.
It was a complex DUI case. It was a second DUI, and it was a young kid. He actually was only 20, and he was getting his second DUI. And you might be thinking, wait a second, can't you only drink after 21? Well, yeah, that was part of the problem.
Yes.
And this
There's
kid,
a minor DUI as well as a regular DUI, at least in Washington, where the breath alcohol limit for, I think, a minor is 0.02 as opposed to 0.08 for an adult.
Yep. That's what ours is too, but he was actually between point oh 0.08 and 0.20, which is the
Mm,
DUI excessive here, and so I had chosen to prosecute it as a full DUI, and this kid, like, I don't mean to, belittle him, but this kid, like, clearly came from privilege, and what I mean by that is, so here I am, like, a relatively new prosecutor. I've been working at that office about a year, and I'm trying this complex DUI case. It's complicated because they had a very expensive and well-known defense firm, the biggest one here in Idaho, criminal defense firm.
mm.
Like, one of the partners has actually represented folks that were housed at Guantanamo, like held at Guantanamo. So their firm is very reputable when it comes to criminal defense and habeas petitions and things like that.
And they're doing
And
a DUI.
they're doing a DUI, and I would guess that this kid's parents spent about 70 grand on this 2-day DUI trial between the experts and that. So here's basically the framing of this story is I'm here, I'm getting paid like $70,000 a year as a brand new prosecutor. I probably had about 10 jury trials under my belt, so I've definitely done a few. But here I am up against a partner at this like well-respected law firm. Two of the other partners are back there observing. So this kid must have really been well connected, or his parents must have been really well connected. They brought in, and this is a misdemeanor DUI, they brought in a jury selection expert, like consultant, to
Oh
sit
my
with them
goodness.
as we did voir dire. I don't even have another prosecutor in the room with me. I'm just
Yeah.
completely alone. And one of the things that was interesting about this case is in a DUI case, at least in Idaho, if you, as the prosecutor, if you can prove the validity of the breath or the blood sample, it basically is almost a foregone conclusion. Like, you just have to prove that the person was driving and that they returned a sample above that. As
Mhm.
long as that sample meets the Idaho State Police standards, then it basically is over. That is the crime in
Yeah,
Idaho. And
true.
this breath instrument, it was a breath case. This breath instrument had failed an inspection at one point. And so I had to basically
Ooh,
bring in an expert. They brought in an expert
yes.
to have competing opinions about whether that failure and then a subsequent pass affected the validity of his sample
How
such that
far
he wasn't. What's that?
the failure was how long before the breath test in your case?
It was like about a month, if I remember correctly. I've got the file somewhere in my
And then they
garage,
brought
but
somebody in, they brought the tech in to recalibrate and give it the A-OK shortly
correct.
thereafter, so it's been doing other tests in the
Yeah.
interim?
And yes, and it wasn't even a close sample. Like, his breath sample, if I remember correctly, was like in the 0.12, 0.13, something like that. So
Mhm.
it's not like it was close enough that it was, oh,
Yeah,
maybe it might have been nudged one way or the other.
mhm.
Um,
It's
anyways,
not gonna it's
it's
not gonna change it enough to make it below a .08.
correct. So it's a tough trial. They're fighting really hard. Um, and again, I'm relatively new in prosecution, and because of the failed LifeLock instrument, their theory of the case was basically to put the system itself on trial. So to talk about how upstanding of a kid he was in their opening statement, which they're really not allowed to do,
Mm-mm.
but you're, as a prosecutor, you're sitting there forced with the choice, like, what do I do? Do I object and look like a jerk in front of the jury, or do I just let it go? Like, because oftentimes trial work, that's kind of your analysis, is like, is this a serious enough error that I use my, my interruption
Yeah.
to get there? You know all this
I will
tactical
say
stuff.
that a good lawyer knows when to object, and an excellent lawyer knows when not to object.
Right. Yes, exactly. And so we tried this case, and as we finish and we go back and forth, and it truly was a very difficult case, I'm sure, for the jury, because anytime you've got experts involved, it's technical, and it went for two
Yeah.
days, and
Mm.
young kid, and looks like he comes from a nice, upstanding family. Not that that should affect juror sentiments, but hey, I hate to spoil this for you, everybody. It does affect juror sentiments. It
Does it
absolutely
really?
does.
It doesn't go the other way and make him think, like, this guy is super privileged and he's trying to play on that with us?
It definitely could, but I don't think it did in this instance.
Okay.
But my favorite part of this story is the fact that I lost and what happened right before I found out that I lost, which is, I had a personal rule for myself when I was a prosecutor. The prosecution office I worked in really liked when the prosecutors would use the word defendant over and over and over again as they were addressing the defendant.
Well,
And for
it's
whatever,
easier than having to remember their name, that's what I always found.
it is easier than having to remember their name, but for some reason, I don't know, I pick these weird principled hills to, like,
Mhm.
die on sometimes, and one of those when I worked in that office was I insisted on calling every single defendant either Mr. last name or Miss last name. I just thought in that instance that I'm being entirely fair, and even though they've been accused of a crime and haven't been convicted yet, they are still a human being, and they're still due the respect of being called by their name. That was just my weird philosophical hill that I chose to die on.
You could not last as a prosecutor, that much is obvious.
Well, obviously, because I left shortly after this. But, one
You're
of
supposed to
the
dehumanize others, and you're supposed to relish it.
that's right.
That's why
Well,
you
I
call them
couldn't
defendant all the time, right? It's not because you can't remember their name, it's so that it dehumanizes them. That's the theory in the eyes of the jury, so they won't feel so bad coming back guilty.
exactly. In fact, you're like, at least in my office, you were taught to, like, emphasize the "ant," like, that it really drives it home anyways, which is one of the reasons that I went the other direction on this. But I really appreciated that as we were waiting for the jury panel to come back, this boy's father came over, like, crossed over to my side of the courtroom and came up to me with tears in his eyes and said, I want you to know that when my son was first charged with this crime, that I believed his entire story, that the cops were in on this, that he did nothing wrong. And I want you to know that when we were at lunch, after listening to the way you treated my son with respect, the way
Hmm.
that you tried this case fair and square, he recognized that he was in the wrong. And I don't know what's going to happen because we were waiting for the
Well,
jury
he
to
could
come
plead
back.
guilty real fast before the jury
Yeah,
comes back.
he didn't feel that bad, but
Okay.
he said, I want to give you my word as his father that he has learned his lesson from this experience and this will never happen again. And I want to thank you for treating my son with respect.
Oh my gosh.
And I shook his hand and I said, "Thank you for telling me that." And I probably said something nice. Jury comes back and I lose, which is fine. I can absolutely understand why they saw reasonable doubt here. But the part of the story I like sharing is that prosecutors aren't supposed to win. Prosecutors are supposed to get justice. And I have followed that young man's like records every year. Like I just put a reminder in my phone on the anniversary of that trial day. And
Really?
I have followed his records. This is now 8 years ago. I have
Hmm.
followed his record every year, and he has not been charged with any other crime since that day. So is that justice? In my mind, that is justice. Yes, he was definitely driving under the influence that night, and that is not okay. I lost a family member to drinking and driving, so I hope no one takes this as me excusing that. But I'm just saying that I was proud of accomplishing justice through trying that case and making that kid sit with the discomfort of being on trial for something he did that was wrong. But ultimately, he learned his lesson, and I think I accomplished justice, and I'm proud of that.
Well, good for you. I think that's a great story. Thank you. So say we all.
So say
That's
we.
really nice.
Yeah, this
Now
is.
you got. I'm sorry.
I said this is the way.
Is that a Mandalorian reference?
It is.
Because I hear that movie really sucks at the box office.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna
Is
do?
it true? Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. No,
Do you plan on seeing it?
I do not plan on seeing it. No.
But you're quoting it.
Well, I like the show.
Oh, because you like the TV show?
I liked the first season of the TV show. Yeah.
Because I was going to ask, if you like the TV show, how come you're not going to go see the movie? And that's because love is gone.
Yeah. Exactly.
Apparently, it's really
Well,
gone.
my second story is a lot less noble. It's more about the
Hmm.
fact that this is what I would consider one of my proudest moments in my career. It
Want me
takes a
to
little
go
bit
to
of
this slide?
Yeah, if you'll go to the next slide, I'll explain. So, as I've talked about, being an appellate lawyer, I kind of have specialized in statutory interpretation, which is when we're looking at the law and we need to interpret what it means, there are rules that courts have created that basically tell us how to read legally effective language. That's the way I
Yes.
would use it. And in 2020, the Idaho Supreme Court wrote a case called Fell versus Fat Schmitty's, which was named after a bar. It was a dram shop liability case.
And a
And
dram shop liability means overserving.
yeah, dram shop liability means that if you overserve someone, that bar can be held responsible for the damages that occur to third parties for
The
that are
person you
caused by the
overserved
person who
driving
was
home.
overserved.
Yeah.
Exactly. And none of that matters. What matters is that a case named Fat Schmitty's is objectively funny. And so I told my friends at the time that this case came out, and it really did actually have a good statement of the Idaho Supreme Court's statutory interpretation precedent. I told my friends that I was going to make it a mission of mine to make Fat Schmitty's a seminal Idaho case on statutory construction simply because I wanted to stand up at a podium one day
Mhm.
addressing a court and say, "Well, Your Honor, Fat Schmitty's tells us," because come on, like that's just absurd. And sometimes we need to find fun in the absurdity of the lives that we live, right? So, as part of that, I wrote this article that's displayed here
Oh,
in
you
the
wrote this article. What did you
yeah,
write
I
it for?
wrote this. I wrote it for the Idaho State Bar's Advocate. So we have like a attorney publication that our bar association puts out. In fact, I'm actually on their advisory board. I
Ooh.
wasn't at the time I wrote this, but so I wrote this article called "Fat Schmitty's and Friends" in furtherance of this goal to make Fat Schmitty's a seminal Idaho case. Okay, fast forward several years later, I get the
And you write an
opportunity.
article about this whole thing that you wanna
Yeah.
do that. And what year was that? Is that 2022?
2020. Yeah. Well, this is the web version. Oh yes, you can see it there. March, April 2022 is when I wrote this. Yep.
You thought it was longer ago.
I probably wrote it in 2021, but that's neither here nor
Your
there.
dream came true faster than you expected.
That's right. So several years after I write this article, I get the opportunity to argue a statutory interpretation case in front of the Idaho Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And all of this has been building up to this punchline, which is my favorite moment of my entire career thus far,
So
is
this is
being
cold.
able
Go ahead.
being
Being
able
able.
to make a joke in oral argument to the 5 Idaho Supreme Court justices and to have the entire room laugh along with me at this joke.
Really? Well, wonderful. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to interrupt you. You just do this dramatic pause thing like I do, and I think it's a period when it's a comma.
That's okay.
I'm just trying to get the rhythm here. Okay, but we've got this to play. So, who is this guy standing behind the lectern?
That was the other side. He's the head of the State Appellate Public Defender's Office.
The SAPD. Okay, here we go.
And that is our position, that this court's statutory interpretation precedent, and I would move specifically to the case of Fat Schmitty's, one, because I think it's a very fun case name to say, and two, because I think it presents a very good summation of this court's statutory interpretation precedent. The relevant quote that I cite to regularly when I try and explain how courts look at statutes and the relationship that this court has between interpreting law and the Idaho legislature is the quote this court wrote, quote, "Courts must construe a statute under the assumption that the legislature knew all of the legal precedent and other statutes in existence at the time the statute was passed." As this court put it in other cases, we must assume that the legislature meant what it said. So anyways, I just thought that
brings down the house at the Supreme Court in Idaho. Not a lot of people do that, you know.
I don't think I've ever seen a joke in oral. I mean, people need to understand making a joke in oral argument is not often done, and it's much less done to that level of success. So I'm very proud of that. I thought that went over very well.
It's risky. I've gotten judges mad at me by being funny. I have seen multiple judges look stern, but work their jaw so hard that it was obvious they were trying not to laugh. I've seen that as well. But yeah, and so it's hard to get him to laugh. And when you do, you really accomplish something. That's what I say. So good job. So
Long live Fat Schmitty's. That's what I say. Long live Fat Schmitty's.
Where everyone knows your name. And you know something? We're at 40 minutes in. I was going to show a couple things. But you know, we wanted to let people come in and talk to you. This is just a brief clip from 48 hours. It's like 2 minutes long. Let me just play this, okay? Where is it? How do I? Oh, sorry. I remove it here. Bring it up here, which is the old one. Advance it to the next one. And here we go. And then we'll let people in, okay?
Great.
Thanks for waiting, everybody. Down goes RFM.
Wow. Did you know that was going to happen?
No, that was unexpected. We just had crossfires. By the way, Michael Oakes, nicest guy you could meet. Very nice, very smart, and just a crazy, crazy situation. The jury was out for a week and came back and found him guilty. Just tragic, I think. And well, anyway, regardless of my personal thoughts about the case, what was I going to say then? I was going to say about the takedown, right? What he was doing was he was showing us the move that he did on Mark Stover when Mark Stover pulled a gun on him. And that move, which you can't quite see because it's so lightning fast. I don't have a gun. I've got a finger. Okay. And what he does is he moves so quickly and then he takes that and then turns it back on me. And that's as I'm going down and then it goes off. My finger is supposed to. So that's what he was doing there. And we had crossed wires. I had thought it was going to be everything it had been up to then, which was just sort of blocking it, doing it slowly and showing step by step to the jury. He thought he's going to do it for real. So I was completely it was unexpected to me, and also to John Henry Brown, who's saying that was completely unexpected. But so I thought I would share that. A number of people have seen that. People email me or contact me or say, "Hey, I was vacuuming the other day and the TV was on. All of a sudden, I hear this familiar voice and I look up and what the heck?" So yeah, 48 Hours did a show on this, and also Dateline. I think it's the name.
Hmm.
Dateline also did a show about it. Yeah, they had court TV there and everything. It was quite the experience. So that was a trial that I was involved in. That was back in 2010. That trial. It
Hmm.
was October or November of 2010. Okay, so other than that, let me see if there's anything else here. What is this? Oh, I want to tell you this. Okay, I'm going to put the address in the live chat. Let me go to the live chat. Okay, I'm going to put the link, the StreamYard link in here. Yep, there it is. Okay, everybody, I'm putting the StreamYard link in. Go ahead and start coming in, and I'm going to tell you something else, which you're going to love, which is I was told by Brent Metcalf. Thank you, Jay. Thank you. Jay says, RFM, you're still a stud. Anyway, Mormon Fundamentalist Hymns. This is a podcast. Remember Professor Christopher Blythe from BYU? He's a professor of folklore.
I do. Yes.
With the
I'm a
hat.
big fan of his hat wear.
Are you? Well, it's
know
part of
what?
his. Yes, what?
You got a brand, right? Like
Absolutely.
if
And he
if I
does.
don't wear flannel, people lose their minds. Apparently, if he takes off that pork pie hat, people protest, you know?
Yes, they do. So this is one of his episodes. What he's done is he's done an intro. And at the intro, there's him. You can see him doing things, but he has voiceovers from other podcasters. And the first one may sound very familiar because it's me. When I was talking about him, probably on a Mormonism Live with Bill, and then he goes to an audio voiceover of John DeLynn saying something about paid apologist professors from BYU. And I'm pretty sure Cara Burrell is the voice, the last voice. And then it ends his intro, okay? So I wanted to play that for you. I'm just glad I'm first. That's all I can say. So let me get rid of that. Remove that, put it up over here. And this is very quick, and then we'll let people up on the stage. I can see you're already starting to file into the auditorium.
Adam God is one of the recurring themes in fundamentalist hymns. And now we have a hymn tribute to Eliza R. Snow and arranged by Stephen Foster called Oh My Mother.
Here's the intro. Professor at BYU named Christopher Blythe. That is his real name, Professor Blythe.
The typical paid Mormon apologist associated with BYU.
Creativity, unbound, unshackled. Love to see it.
Welcome back, patrons. I am Dr. Blythe. I am a professor at Brigham Young University and an expert in Latter-day Saint folklore.
Oh, that's right. I wanted to get the part about expert in Latter-day Saint folklore. All right. So I think I can see why he put my voiceover first.
I got to give him credit. Leaning, like we talked about at the beginning of the show,
Yes.
leaning in. Then it's just funny. Like, come on, that was great. That was a great use of those sound clips.
Absolutely, it was. And at least mine was talking about him. I don't know if either John or Kara were actually talking about him specifically, but it worked. He did a great job with that. I don't know why. He needs to come on this show. Professor Blythe, if that is your real name.
You bring your best, Professor. I'll bring mine.
Yes, and you can talk with people who actually know stuff instead of those dorks over at Ward Radio, where you showed up over there and you were astonished at their lack of education in things Mormon. Because you show up over there because they have you come over, right? Because Jonah Barnes just got done saying for an entire episode of Psych Ward Radio that Brigham Young never taught the Adam God theory. Okay, and then we broke that down, and I showed whose research he was stealing and why it was wrong in the first place, and why nobody steals this research, because you'd have to be really dumb to steal this research.
Yeah, you'd have to be a real dipshit to plagiarize from that, wouldn't you?
Yes, with an overly large filtrum. So there's the two Adam theory, right? So they believe all this crap. We take it apart. They call him onto their show with, obviously, they think he's going to debunk us and support Jonah Barnes, Mr. Filtrum. And He doesn't. He does the opposite. And he's saying, well, yeah, he taught this. And they're going, we can't be understanding you correctly. What you must mean is that he really never taught it. So that was fun to watch him go around. Okay, Laura, get on the stage here. Hello, how are you doing?
Hey, how's your back, RFM?
It hurts like something that hurts a lot. And in fact, I've had to unfortunately reschedule the trip to New York because of that. It's in an abundance of caution, and it wasn't my idea. It was a smart person's idea who said, "What are you doing? You're going to get in the plane, travel all day with a bad back to go over to New York and do a bunch of hiking into the sacred grove and all this exertion. And why are you doing this? This doesn't make sense." It's because I don't want to be a bother. I don't want to be a bother so much that I frequently end up being a bigger bother.
Have you had an MRI?
Are you like that, Laura?
I bitch and moan. I bitch and moan in my smoker's cackle. I like to spread it around. But have you had an MRI?
No. Why would I do that?
Get your back checked out. They may be able to give you muscle relaxers, something, a shot for the pain.
Oh, I have muscle relaxers without an MRI.
Well,
I skipped the MRI. I went straight to the muscle relaxers.
So do they know what's wrong?
Well, my back's just a little bit out. And I don't want to go into too much detail because
Sure.
I was raised in such a way as that my dad always told me, people don't want to hear your medical problems. That's what old people talk about. So I'm trying to avoid being an old person by not doing things that old people do, except for my back going out and having to cancel trips. So things like that.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I have my back's kind of screwed up too. I know what it's like. And it's been great for months now, but I'm really sorry that you're going through that. I know what it's like. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it's the worst. And so you got to protect your back. Anytime I see weightlifters, I go, man, be careful when you're doing those deadlifts.
Yeah.
And this crazy stuff is like your back. I mean, you don't know how much strain your back is under until it gives. And when it gives, it's too late.
That's how I originally screwed up my back in my 20s. I'm fat now, but I wasn't then. And that is what originally messed up my back. So
that will happen to the best of us unless we're very, very careful. So hopefully everybody out there who hasn't screwed up your back will learn from this and be very careful when you're lifting weights or in dance classes. What happened to me. By the way, Laura, I'm going to let a few other people on here. They're lining up around the block. We've got Kurt Ralph Arman. How do you say that, Kurt? Is that Arman?
Hello there. Kurt Ralph Arman, you got it.
Just Arman?
Arman, yeah. German name.
Okay, Kurt Ralph Arman. The history nerd. Good to have you back on the show, Kurt.
Thank you, RFM. Good to see you, Colby.
Hi, Kurt. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
See a little bit more of your tie, Colby. Just a little bit more of that mission tie. By the way, were you wearing a mission tie at the Supreme Court of Idaho too? Oh my!
I told you I don't buy new ties.
Well,
I have a lot of really nice mission ties that I'm attached to.
How many ties do you need for a mission?
I'm sorry, Laura. What? Oh, when did he serve a mission?
Okay.
Oh no, how many ties are?
I've got to share.
I'm ignorant about missions.
So I served my mission in Arizona, Laura, and there was a famous thrift store in Mesa, Arizona, where you could buy an entire bag of ties. And I'm going to share a photo with you to show how many ties I had.
Ooh, you still
While
have
you're
them
doing
all?
that, I just brought on Alex, the jury rigger, Diamond Dave, and April. Hey, April.
Hi. First time calling in. I met Colby last year at Thrive in Boise.
Did you say Colby
Hi,
or
April.
Toby?
Colby.
You see, it's not easy to hear that L.
It's I'm in Northeast Oregon and it's a common name here.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I've never met another male Colby with a K, at least.
Oh, I
Is it
don't
with a
know if they
K?
have Ks.
So Northeast Oregon, that's right up there by Idaho, isn't it?
I'm closer to Idaho. Yep. I'm only about 2 hours in a time zone from Boise, but I grew up near where you're from, RFM. I grew up in Buckley, Washington, another middle of nowhere.
Buckley. Buckley is our cry. Yay, Buckley.
Yep. I was actually born there. No hospital there.
No way. What was it like in the pasture or what?
I'm number 6 out of 8. My mom knew how to do it by then.
She had it down. Oh my gosh, Buckley, absolutely. The gateway to Mount Rainier.
Yep.
Well, Enumclaw too, but Buckley's a
Yeah.
small town right there.
Most
Let
people,
me-
more people know Enumclaw than Buckley.
Yes, and here comes Guy McDude joining us. That's fantastic. Born in Buckley.
RFM, could you share that photo of my
Oh, I'm sorry.
screen?
You got a photo of Ties? Let me see here. There's so many people on the screen. Okay, yes, I see it here. Everybody, look at this photo. Oh my lord! Is that
That's
you?
how many ties. That's how many ties,
My
Laura.
gosh.
That's you.
That is
Oh,
me.
wow.
It looks like you have a bit of an overbite. You look like the guy who plays It in the recent 2 movies.
That's my companion.
Oh, that's not you. You're the other one. You're
This
the one on the
one's
floor.
me.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Never mind.
He does look like Pennywise. What is it, Bill Skarsgård? I can't remember
Yeah,
the
something
guy's
like
name.
that.
He
I think
does
that's
look
what it
like
is.
him.
The guy who does the eyes and he can, make them look different directions.
Mhm.
Oh,
Georgie.
We all float down here, Billy.
Beep, beep, Richie.
Oh gosh, I hated the beep beep so much. If I read another beep beep in that freaking book when I was going through, I was going to go to Maine personally and strangle Stephen King.
Anyways,
once
that's
or
how many
twice is
ties I
okay.
Beep,
had,
beep,
Laura.
Richie.
Oh, that
Tim
was way too
Curry
much.
is
And
it. Tim Curry is by far my favorite. Just
a lot of people are like the Tim Curry. I wasn't as enamored with
watched
it as
that.
a lot of people
I
are.
watched that broadcast, and he scared the shit out of me.
Alex, how
and I
old were you
loved
when
it.
that came out?
What was it? 87? Maybe
Maybe.
88. I would have been 10.
You see, I think that people who were younger when it came out may have been more scared by it.
I think it came out in 90. Yeah, 90.
No, okay,
So
so I would
13?
have been 13. Yeah, it
In 90, then that
you
means
got-
I was 10.
it was one of those. It was one of those shows that they don't really happen anymore. It was a cultural event.
Mhm.
Just about everybody watched it. Everyone complained about the ending because it was so boring, but it was a cultural thing. I
It's
think
the
the
same
last-
with The Stand. The
original Stand, yeah, the miniseries. I think I was watching that with a group of people when
Yeah.
when the betrayal happens. Some of my friends cried because they cared about the characters that much.
In The Stand, a betrayal.
yeah.
The betrayal. It's near I think it's the second to last episode. There's a betrayal among the protagonists.
I've read the
Someone-
book a couple times. I didn't watch the miniseries though.
Oh, the bomb that's in the closet.
It's
Yeah, the
you'll be
nuclear bomb that
familiar.
blows up Las
Arvada.
Vegas. That one, the one that
No,
It's the
Transform
same
Man
people.
drags in on a red flyer wagon, whatever it is behind.
No,
behind his
Harold and
beard.
Nadine.
Speaking of
Harold and
Tim
Nadine.
Curry, speaking of Tim Curry,
Like my years.
the movie Clue is fantastic.
Mm.
I think that did come out in 87.
Oh man, I used to watch that on repeat. That
Really?
was just one of those things that I just watch over and over and over
Who
again.
did it
I
in your
love that
repeated
movie.
version?
What's that?
Who did it in your repeated version?
Well, I had the original home video release, so it had all 3 endings integrated.
Ah,
So I know there was some videotapes that only had one of the endings, but I had the actual complete film on home
if
video.
anybody doesn't know, Clue is a movie that was based upon the board game, of course. So they have all the different characters. Tim Curry playing the butler, I believe.
Yes,
Mhm.
Mr.
And so,
Body.
yeah, and they have all these other people in it. But without going into that, they did it in such a way as at the end, they had 3 different endings, and each ending had a different person being the person who did, I guess, the murder. And they released them that way. And at one theater, you might see with one ending, go to a different theater somewhere else, you might see with a different ending.
Yeah,
I can't remember what ending I saw.
flames from the side of my face, heaving, breathing, burning.
Madeline Kahn.
just kills it in that film. She just
The whole
abs-
movie is hilarious.
Yes,
It's got
yes.
Martin Mull, Christopher Lloyd. It's great.
Right, Martin Mull, Mustard?
Mm-hmm.
Captain Mustard, yeah.
Captain Colonel? I think he got a
Colonel.
promotion.
Colonel Mustard, yeah.
Yeah.
God, it's
Okay.
been forever since I've seen it. I've watched it so much that I actually put myself on abstinence. I was like, I'm not going to watch this film ever again.
Really?
And it started to fade.
Oh my goodness. That is quite an obsession you've got going on. It might be called a magnificent obsession. So, I don't want to get, if everybody's happy talking about this, I'm happy talking about it. But anybody want to talk about anything else? Is anything on anybody's mind? Has anything happened in anybody's life that's significant enough to share with everybody tonight, especially if it has a Mormon connection, and even if it doesn't?
I wore a tank top in public for like where I could potentially see people I knew for the first time today.
Really? Well, April, so you were a Mormon?
Yes, born and raised very much.
Are you still?
No, we left about 2-3 years ago.
And when you say we,
My husband and I, our kids kind of precipitated it. We have a child who's not neurotypical, and I was watching him try to sit through church like looking in physical pain, and I'm like, why am I doing this to my kid? And then I had some siblings leave, and things just started to click.
And you said that you came to the Boise Thrive April last September.
Yeah.
Nice to see you again. That was so much fun.
And my husband has long graying hair, and so sometimes people remember him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's more exciting than what I've been up to. I just spent 12 hours rebranding 2 pages. So
you look like it.
Yeah. And then when my wife wakes up, I got to build a bed frame that came in. So we got to build it.
Does that mean putting screws in the right place?
Yeah, like screws, nails. There's a backboard. There's like built-in
Don't
shelves.
go there, Colby. Don't go there, Kobe.
I said nothing.
As opposed to going out and cutting down the trees and starting from scratch. So you got to put together a bed frame. It came from, where did you order it from? Where do you order bed frames from in Mongolia?
We ordered it from China because they have really good products. So
there you go.
Makes sense.
Do they not make bed frames in Mongolia?
I mean, they do, but it's just, I don't know, the quality isn't always as good, and it's typically more expensive. So
I can't remember when the last time I saw a product that had a stamp on it and said made in Mongolia.
You'll find it on like mainly leather because that's like the main export.
Really?
Yeah, like leather jackets and like there's like I don't know to what extent it is, but I do know that like Harley Davidson and like other like motorcycle companies, like some, I will say some, not all, but some of their products, like some of the leather products do come from Mongolia. I don't know to what extent though.
Every now and then you'll find some electronics that say minerals sourced in Mongolia.
Yeah.
Every now and then.
That's another thing too.
I think porn shoulder garments are also manufactured in Mongolia, from what I hear.
Really? They could be. And April could be wearing those garments now. We wouldn't even know.
That's true. You wouldn't know.
Clothing isn't really an export here. It's mainly, like Alex said, like a lot of minerals. There's leather, there's meat, beef, that sort of thing. But
is that from regular cows or mostly yaks?
It's cows.
Okay. I don't know, but they have in Mongolia. I just know about the yaks.
Yeah, I mean, there's cows, there's goats, there's sheep. Like anything you like find in America, you can find in Mongolia, and probably more too, because of the international trade from Japan, China, Russia. We even get trade from North Korea too, so you can get like the North Korean cigarettes smoked by Kim Jong-un himself. Right?
Does that make them more expensive?
They're actually, so that specific brand, the 727 brand, is actually like way more expensive compared to like normal cigarettes, even imported ones in some cases, like Marlboros.
Regime's got to pay for its nuclear weapons somehow.
I'm sorry, Alex, were you saying he's got to pay for what somehow?
The regime, the DPRK, has to pay for their nuclear weapons somehow, so might as well not charge on the Seagos.
In reality, they just dip them into the toilet to make them a little more salty, I think.
Smoked by Kim Jong-un ill?
Well, I mean, like
forget
the
which one
whole
is-
Kim Jong family. Like, I mean, you guys probably won't believe this, but like Asian cigarettes are way better than American cigarettes, just in general. Like the
How could that
tobacco's a higher
possibly be? We have the
quality.
best DDT.
There's not. We don't have 5,000 additional chemicals in the tobacco.
Really? Okay.
We don't have fiberglass.
So, if I sent you some money, could you send me some smokes? I'm running low.
That would actually be illegal. You could come here and buy it and then bring it back, but for me to ship it out, that would be highly illegal.
Really? Highly. What could happen to a
Yeah.
person who shipped out cigarettes and from Mongolia?
I don't want to think about it, but that would fall under drug trafficking laws. So
Really? Wow. And especially when
very
you're there
strict.
just by, the good graces of the government and everything.
Mhm.
I want to see her caned back next week on the show when you get caught.
Oh no, they don't cane.
What do they do?
No. People get, so from what I've seen online, like the prison system has not been updated since the Soviet era, so they're still technically gulags. People do die in the prisons, everything from malnutrition to beatings to like cold. You're not guaranteed a lawyer once you're in, from what I've seen online.
Yeah.
Right. So it's very, very different.
Okay.
Getting cigarettes to RFM sounds like it's worth the risk. Let's do it. I'm in.
Nah.
Give me your address, RFM. I'll send you some cigs.
Okay, absolutely. But I need them from Mongolia because these are better than American cigarettes.
Yeah, fly out here.
All right, absolutely. I'm catching the next flight. As soon as I'm
Well,
getting
I mean,
to
if
New York, I'll
you
go to
do come
Mongolia.
out here, the Maitreya.
He's putting the bed together, RFM.
Yeah,
It's a roomy twin.
I know that. No,
We'll,
but
we'll make a Mongolian yak sandwich.
I know, right? But if you guys ever do come out here, I can actually take you to some of the like monuments that my wife's late father-in-law that he sculpted. The Maitreya statue in Tove is almost completed. So, and then we also live by the Zaisen monument, and we live in a really good part of Mongolia. So,
Wow.
you be
So if we do an ex-Mormon tour out there, can we get STDs and drunk while we're with you next
You
year?
can get German beer.
You
You
can
get drunk on
you
German
can
beer
even
in
get, you
Mongolia.
can even get thrown in prison, and then Jacob Hansen would have something to talk about. Get
Let's
thrown in
give him
prison or
something to talk
deported. Like, there you go.
And now Kolob Choir Queen is joining us. Hello.
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 Nice
That's
to
a
see
name I recognize. Nice to see
Hi.
you.
Hi, Colby. It's always great to see you. I loved your
Holy
scenes
shit.
from court.
Colby,
Fascinating to me.
Colby, when I asked you to come on the show, I expect you, there's a mute button for a reason. That's why I use the mute
that
button.
was
That
not
kind of thing
me.
doesn't happen.
Could you say that again, Kolob Choir Queen?
Maybe. I'm wondering if I'm on the right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Not
Okay.
over the burping. Who let go with that one? It wasn't Colby. Who was it? Fess up. Alex?
RFM, why is the women should not be on the bottom row. Move them. Move the tiles.
Why should they not be on the bottom row? You're a
True.
sexist.
They're
You know what
across
happens
for
to
me.
sexists? They go to the bottom.
It's great to see you guys. I loved the scenes from court. That is such a fascinating life to me that I've never experienced. I have very little tolerance for fine print, so going to law school never appealed to me. So it's fascinating to see another world. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I should show you the world of getting a B2 visa. So my wife wants to visit my mother and my grandmother before before they both pass away, right? And there's a lot of fine print when it comes to getting a US visa.
That's true. A visa. I'm sorry. I was hearing
Yeah, it's a
passport
visa.
because I've got one of those and there's fine print. but
Oh
that's
yeah,
true.
no, not a passport. No, she does not
Visa.
want citizenship. She just wants the 10-year visa.
Well, a passport doesn't grant citizenship, I think.
You can
Just
only
let
get a
you go.
passport if
Yeah, you can only get a passport if you're a citizen, is my understanding.
I'm sorry.
A
You mean
U.S.
a citizen of the United States to get a
Yes,
passport?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought you meant a passport gives you citizenship somewhere else.
Oh yeah. No.
That's
no,
what
no.
I was thinking you're saying, but no, you weren't. So let me see
Gotcha.
here. I think we've got room for one more. Laura? Oh, she was here before, but she must have left.
You added Nunya.
While you're
Yeah.
while you're bringing in Laura, I'll say, April, good shirt. I can totally tell that it's not that you're not wearing the new tank top garments. You can tell instantly when someone is trying to pull off the tank top garments with a
Yeah, they like go all the way out to
Yep, you
the.
can totally tell. So it's like that blink right away. Mormons know, and I can tell. So good job, good job.
My shorts still pretty much go to my knees, but
Sometimes
so funny.
more comfortable, right? Sometimes that's
yeah,
Because
you
of the
stick
new
to things.
because of the new tank top garments, my wife was joking that she'll like only wear spaghetti strap tank tops now because she's like, I want people to know that I'm not wearing them.
It's real. It's real, Colby. It's real. We had this way to show before, and then the church decided to like be more mainstream, and now we have to be even edgier with our spaghetti straps.
It's almost like the world was here and then the church. Yeah.
That's why I go commando from here on out.
I was gonna just say, Colby, have you ever like done a Zoom case like I've seen some lawyers do where they show up and they're wearing the suit, like the suit and tie, but they're not wearing pants like at all. They're just like in their underwear.
Don't ask me to stand up, Dave. That's how I'm gonna answer your question.
You know, I know that it sounds like women go to great lengths to try and not show their garments with the fashion, but more and more I'm seeing guys, it looks like they're trying to flash their garments. I look at the guys on the Psych Ward radio show. They're trying because they can see themselves on the screen, like I can see myself, like, and they can see the garment flashing with their t-shirt, right? And they don't do anything about it. When I was their age and I was wearing a t-shirt, my gosh, with garments, I was spending half my time always feeling, always tucking, always moving, always tugging in order to keep that garment out of sight. But now it's like we want to show it. Am I imagining that, or does anybody else see that? And why am I echoing?
Guy McDude still has the stream playing in the background.
Guy McDude, what do you have?
Streamception.
Guy McDude? Okay, I'm not echoing anymore. Thank you, I guess. Got taken care of. Thank you.
There we go.
Thanks, Alex. Am I seeing this? Is anybody else seeing this?
No, I've noticed that too, and I've noticed that like when I was a member, like people at the YSA wards, like the ladies even at the YSA wards would like go to great lengths to like cover their their garments, but guys would like intentionally wear really tight shirts so you could see the outline, especially when they went to the BYU creamery on a date. Like, and then you could like see it kind of poking out from like their jean shorts, right? Like they designed it intentionally to do that. It's weird, but I've
Are
noticed
these
that
the
too.
women or the men that you shifted to that we're showing?
The men.
The jean shorts and all that?
Yeah, like the guys were showing it, but the ladies like wore baggier clothing, so you couldn't quite see it.
It's like the Mormon version of peacocking.
Yeah.
I think with
It
all
really
the
is.
doctrine changes recently, it's becoming harder and harder to virtue signal. So they've got to like, word radio's just got to like hike up their pant legs a little bit more to make sure everybody knows they're still in.
That explains those stupid Warren Heaven veteran hats, those ridiculous things they made.
Oh, yeah, veteran of the war in heaven. Stolen valor. These guys were on the wrong side, believe me.
The part I love about that the most is that it's all premised off of them celebrating their role in an imaginary battle.
Yeah. That everybody who's down here apparently participated in.
Right.
Everybody
They're wearing
is a
vet hats
veteran.
that say "War in Heaven."
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
According to their
and
belief.
they've got like the veteran symbol on them too.
How insulting is that to actual veterans? That's
I don't know.
astonishingly poor taste.
Well, and this is where the controversy is, because they've had like when they were doing it initially, they've had veterans, albeit Mormon veterans. I believe it was Operation Desert Storm or Desert Shield, one of the two. But they had actual veterans on that said they thought it was funny and they had no problem with it. So I
Well, that
don't
makes it
know,
okay.
but yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
no, they're
that's
Mormon
where the
veterans.
controversy.
You don't know that.
I mean,
Yeah.
but
I
yeah,
think
but I mean, they
Kolob
had
wanted to
actual
see something.
military veterans on, and so that's where kind of the controversy came from initially.
Yeah, 2 or 3 vets don't speak for the entirety, and Mormon vets certainly don't.
Go call up.
So,
Go.
I'm not sure this is the one. I pulled up a War in Heaven veteran cap, but I don't think it's theirs. I think other people are doing this now.
Oh, I'll find
yeah,
it.
why don't you show it to me? Because I used to hang out with them. Remember, like I could tell you.
Okay, so let me see if I can do this. And I got to stop that screen. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm clicking buttons, and I hope that everybody doesn't
while
send me
Radio
banned.
Free Mormon does this, it's kind of also interesting to be like the Warren like veteran hat, right? Like if you look at the original Mormon doctrine, like those of us who are white and delightsome, we were on the right side.
No,
of
that's
God.
not it.
That is not it. That is not it.
No, it's not it. And
I-
you see, that's like
I
the
put it
plan
at
of
the bottom.
salvation, those 3 circles going across.
Yeah.
The other one has
Yeah,
more like, they're like metals. And by metals,
they're
I mean
like fake
color
metals.
bars.
They're fake, fake metal color
Yeah.
bars. But yeah, it's interesting that they do like the Warren veteran hat and like they sell it to other Mormons. But according to Mormon doctrine, if you're white, you were valiant in the War in Heaven.
Yes.
Right. So it kind of defeats the purpose of doing that.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Hang on. Yes, it does. I'm so sorry. I was going ho, ho, because I found it. I have found it, but
I have it at the bottom, Arvin.
Oh, okay. You already found it?
Yep.
Okay, let me go to where you are. Is this you? Yeah. Now that's from the side. Can you click on one of the other buttons to get the face front?
There we go.
There it is.
Yeah.
We're in Heaven veteran. This is from Psych Ward Radio. That's Cardin Ellis who's holding it.
Is that the French? That's a French flag. It's red, white, and blue. I think that's a French flag.
For the low cost of $62, you too
Wait,
can advertise
are
how
you
stupid
kidding
you
me?
are.
Well, I'm
$62 for a
gonna
freaking
say
ball
this. So I'm gonna say this. It depends on who they go for because I do merch as well, and sweatshop a sweatshirt like by itself is $28 before I get my markup, before I get my commission. So my sweatshirts are like $32. So it depends on if they're doing it themselves, it's a ripoff. But if they're going through like a spread shop, like a pre-made website, it's going to jack up the price because it's drop shipping. That website makes it, that website ships it, they take most of the money. And you only get like $2 or $3 off of the hat.
Well, that's great because you're not doing anything except promoting it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So,
RFM, can you share the link? Some folks have asked for it in the chat.
Yes, I will do that again. Thank you so much for letting me know that.
And Kolob Choir Queen was trying to say something like 10 minutes ago.
I think I was, and I'm sure it was brilliant, but I absolutely cannot remember what it was now. But I did feel kind of bad for teasing not really. I'm faking it. I'm going to pretend that I felt bad about teasing RFM last week about not responding to my email. So I went and dug through my email and I found it. So I'm going to read you just a bit of it. Okay. Is that okay?
I was hoping you were going to say you found out that I did respond to it.
Yeah, you were.
You know better than that.
It's okay. You can pretend to feel bad about teasing me, and I'll pretend to feel bad about not responding to it.
Perfect. This is the best of Mormonism, pretending all over the place. I
It
love
is.
it.
This is what we learn in Mormonism, isn't
That's
it?
what we learned, and we know how to pretend. We just can't make the church look bad. That's our code. Okay, so here, and it was only from a year ago, RFM, not 2 years ago. So
I'm really not even late yet.
Totally. And I was using probably Old Testament numbers anyway. So, okay. April 30th, 2025. Dear RFM and Bill, I continue to enjoy your programming, and I'm happy that I'm in a position where I can show my support. You really do help shed light on Mormonism. I'm so glad you both do this full time. My comment was too long to leave on the donation page, so I'm emailing you. So I think I must have donated to you, but I can't remember how much. So let's just assume it was $10,000.
It was a huge amount. We're talking at least 6 figures.
Yeah.
I have no idea because that'll go to Bill. By the way, I want to hear the rest of it, and then I'll ask you what address you sent it to.
Okay.
It was enough that you could have bought dozens of those shitty hats.
Dozens, I'm telling you.
I can't read the whole thing because I think now I'm suddenly too self-conscious. Because remember how I gave you a bunch of words that I had like enjoyed hearing you use, then maybe I knew, but maybe I didn't know. Now suddenly I'm like, oh shoot, the whole internet is going to be judging me about what words I didn't know. And so I'll tell you what I did. I'll keep going, but I chose 3 of the obscurest words that I think maybe the general populace doesn't use every day. And then I wrote Mormon examples to go with them. So I'll read those. Good?
It's okay. We will all pretend to not judge you.
Perfect. We can pretend all over the place. We're good at this, Mormons. We're good at this. Okay. So I've been consuming a lot of post-Mormon content lately. I love language, and just for fun, I've been keeping a list of words I've enjoyed hearing on your podcast. Here are some of them. And remember, I'm only going to do 3, not the 3,000 that I had originally written, okay? So number 1, anathema. 1, something or someone intensely loathed, detested, or formally condemned. Or a formal religious curse, a solemn ecclesiastical ban, and excommunication. Got it, right?
It's the greater excommunication in the Catholic Church is anathema.
Yes.
I served my mission down in Arizona, and there were a lot of born again Christians in Arizona that really hated the Mormons. And there was a guy one time that we stopped to speak to on the street, and he didn't even say hello. He literally just started shouting anathema at me. Anathema, 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 until we just left because it was weird.
Okay. So you probably knew what that word
Colby?
was, so you didn't have to look it up, right?
Here's the crazy thing, Colby.
It's in a letter of Paul's, yeah.
Okay. Well, I
The
should have
crazy
been the
thing,
Bible
Colby-
more, I guess.
The crazy thing, Colby, I was that guy.
Anathema sate.
When I got shouted at on my mission, it was in German. So I could just always pretend that I didn't really understand him, which is maybe part of the case, you know. Secondly,
Totenkopf.
what? Scheißkopf. Yes, things like that.
I
Yeah.
was thinking Totenkopf.
Oh,
I was being a bit
Totenkopf.
topical, but I won't go into it any more than that.
Okay. This was the sentence I created. The Q15 with the word anathema.
Oh.
So the Q15 were torn. Some of the senior apostles favored rebranding the church's formal excommunication process as an anathematic curse. But in the end, the survey results presented by the outside PR team helped the apostles of the Lord adopt the phrase court of love.
It sounds so much nicer than anathema.
Okay. Word
Hey,
number
Alex,
2.
I want to hear number 2, but Alex, am I saying that right? Anathema?
Oh, I might have said it wrong, and I practice. And that,
Oh no,
so,
I'm asking about me because this is how I learned a long time ago. And
I thought
Alex,
it started as
Anathematic.
anathema.
So no, it is anathema, but it's anathematic curse if you're going to curse someone like that.
okay.
Because she's conjugating.
Yeah, conjugating. Yeah,
I'm
I'm taking the vocab to the next level, guys.
The Latin pronunciation varied, but the most common you would hear in classical Latin is anathema, but in English it's always been anathema.
So classical Latin emphasizes the 3rd syllable, and commonly emphasize the 2nd syllable.
Well, in Latin, the word thema has a different meaning. So anathema is ana is a prefix. So
and just to be clear, what would that be in Reformed Egyptian? That's the only way I can understand it.
It would be kolabi, is what it would be.
I just
What
remember
about Adamic? What about Adamic? Let's go all the way back.
it's Anna the Ma.
Mana yu shishai.
Okay.
Just to make it up. let's
Collab
see.
Choir Queen. What's the second word that I've used that you've learned?
Oh my gosh, now I'm feeling like everybody probably knows these, and I'm gonna.
Nobody
Okay,
knows
how about-
anathema.
well, you got yelled. Colby got yelled at in that. Some guy in Arizona knows it, right?
It's in one of the letters of Paul, so I did know what it was before he started shouting it at me.
Yeah, let him be anathema, which is anathema seat. Yeah.
Mhm.
But what was the second word?
Cupidity.
What was the second word?
Cupidity, an eager or excessive desire, particularly to possess wealth or material goods, or strong desire, lust. So here's my sentence. The cupidity of the Ensign Peak Advisory Board Committee was well known, but the creation of 13 shell companies solidified their stupidity.
Nice. It was even kind of
love
a,
it.
a poem.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, because I'm a lyricist, really, so I'm always looking at rhymes, you know?
It was a couplet.
Yeah.
I
I'm
like
not-
how there was one shell company for each tribe of Israel, that the true believers.
Colby, I
Could be
never
a tough
realized
one.
the significance of that till just now. My mind is blown. You're right. That's
I know.
brilliant.
Somebody tell David Alexander, and we'll get a 2-hour documentary on that.
I was going to say that's how you know
Well,
David
there's
Alexander was
13.
involved.
Wasn't there
The
13
choir queen.
shell? Wasn't there 13 shell companies?
Yeah, 13. Did I say 13? But there was the.
There's the 12 tribes of Israel, 13 shell companies. So
I know.
actually, yeah, that would be
Colby's
the
referring to the
apostles.
fact that Joseph's tribe was split in two between Manasseh and Ephraim.
Manasseh.
That's
Oh,
funny.
okay. I was gonna go with the apostles on that one because there were 12 apostles, but
Yes.
then Jesus had to replace Judas, so there were technically 13.
Yeah,
in that
Jesus
that
wasn't
comes-
around to replace Judas anymore, but they took care of it without him.
That's also a Latin. That's also a Latin source. Cupere, which is to desire, and cupiditas or cupiditatem. So
Okay, Alex
word.
the jury rigger, you are a linguist, aren't you?
I've studied Latin.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, he's a
He's
Catholic
just seen Evil Dead, really.
I mean,
That's
you
what
did a
it is.
seminary, right, Alex?
The guy that I had a crush on in seminary class my sophomore year, the Mormon kid, he was from the tribe of Manasseh, and that was like kind of a cool. Like everyone else was from Ephraim, but suddenly he was like Manasseh. It was very cool. Yeah.
Was he Native American?
I don't know, something darker skinned. I
I'm
don't
just
know.
saying that
As
because it
in-
was common for patriarchs to give people darker skin Manasseh.
As in a tribe of Israel.
Yeah.
What
Call of
side
choir
of the
queen,
war
is
in
that
heaven
you? I
is-
remember.
Hilarious, Guy McDude. You do not sound at all like my sophomore crush, but you know,
Do I look like him at all?
all I can see is Jesus, and I think everyone loves Jesus. So
What side of the war in heaven would Spencer Kimball have said this guy was on? That's what I'm curious about.
the guy with the Manasseh, Eric something
Yeah.
was his name. Okay,
So,
third word.
so the first one was anathema. The second one was cupidity.
Castigate.
Castigate.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Yeah. And this one, so after the incident, to reprimand someone or severely. So here's my sentence. After the incident with Fanny Alger in the barn, Joseph knew that he and Emma were in for a long night. He dearly hoped her castigation would not lead to his castration.
Very, very good. Very good.
Those are
And it
fun.
almost did at one point. I think it was 1832 when you almost got castrated.
Hey, Kolob, you can email that email to letsdisagreeshow@gmail.com, and I'll respond before RFM.
Awesome. Do you want a $10,000 donation too?
I am in severe need of hats, so yes, I think I need that.
I'm just going to say for everybody, because Tim Rathbone keeps trying to come on the show, and he doesn't have the strength to make it, the strength of signal.
Oh, I'll get off.
Because he's driving. He's driving.
Yeah, he was on here for a second earlier, driving around. I don't know where he's going. And I keep showing him trying to enter the studio and then kicking out because he doesn't have enough. And it says the device is not connected, Tim. Just so you know, I'm not ignoring you. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up. Okay, so the next word was castigate. And not castrate.
Yeah. And then I got nervous because I was like, I'm not gonna list any more words because probably everyone knows them and I'm gonna look very foolish. So
That was fun. Thank you.
thank you. Maybe I'll come back. Maybe my nerve will. I'll get more courage and come back with more rhymes and words that I've learned from you. Oh, but the email, like in the future, I was saying. But the email I sent it to was Mormon Discussions Podcast at gmail.com.
That's Bill.
Oh, Bill. There you
RFM's
go.
is Radio Free Mormon 1, Radio Free Mormon 1 at gmail.com.
Well, yeah. I mean, I did address it to you and Bill because I was really I've been listening to Mormonism After Dark, I think since your very first show.
Really?
So,
wow.
Yeah. I was one of the OGs. Yep.
Thank you so much.
So
I'm gonna-
RFM's phone number, to text him is.
Yes, is.
Let me check my phone here.
801. Frequently, Bill will forward those emails that are addressed to me or to me and to him. And I can't say he didn't do this one. but I'm going to say it anyway. He didn't forward your email, so I never saw it.
Well, now that I know RFM's email when I go next month touring the Mongolian countryside, I know his email, so I can spam it with pictures of yaks and other fun things.
I would love a yak pic.
Yes.
I'll try and find a yak.
Yes, I knew you were going to make that joke. You are so old.
That's what they do in Mongolia. They send each other yak pics.
Better than sending you the fermented yak milk.
Hey, fermented milk is really, really okay.
Oh,
Look, in
Arag is
Japan,
amazing.
it's incredible. They
Arag
call
is
it kalpis
amazing.
in Japan. Do they have that in Mongolia?
Yeah, you can get
Cowpuss?
kalpis.
I know it's cow piss. That's what it sounds like, cow piss, but it's CALPIS, which is not Japanese at all. So I don't know where it comes from originally, but it's cow piss.
We have Rocky Mountain oysters at our place if you need some.
Yeah, and those are like yak nuts.
They're the nuts, yeah, calf nuts, yeah.
They're deep fried.
Oh.
They're usually deep fried. Yeah.
Yeah, they
I'm
usually
sorry
bread
to
them
say
and
I've
fry
never
them.
had one.
My husband said he mistook them for chicken nuggets as a kid.
Oh my god!
Oh,
I haven't
You
had
have
one. I've
to
had
pay
two.
more
What
when
part
you
of the
order
chicken was he
nut.
eating?
Chuck.
Chuck
I will
joins us.
say-
hey, Chuck.
I will.
It's my
I will
cousin,
say-
Chuck. What's up, Chuck?
I will say, since we were talking about Arag real quick, if you ever try Mongolian beef, make sure you order Mongolian beef and not
How-
sheep
did
liver,
we ever
because
decide
it
how
is
we're cousins?
exactly the same.
Wilford Woodruff. Come on.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I like Mongolian beef, but liver, no, thank you.
Sheep
So,
liver
Chuck, have you
hits
found
very
any
hard.
archaeological evidence yet of the Book of Mormon? Have you? What's the latest?
Are you asking me?
I'm
I
asking
think
Chuck.
Alex is asking Chuck, but I'm not sure.
Oh.
Alex.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna let you go so that you guys can have bigger faces like that so everyone can see it. And plus I gotta go put my kids to bed. But you guys are lovely. I'll come back sometime.
Wow.
So
Thank
great
you,
to see all of
Co-op
you.
Choir Queen. Thank you for being here, and it was wonderful to see you. Just remember, it's all Bill's fault.
All Bill's fault. Yeah. So I hope you got some of the $10,000 donation though, right?
Unlikely.
Sometime. Bye guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
It'd be funny if she accidentally emailed that to the fake Bill, the D-Vase, the D-Vase impersonator.
Oh, yeah. That really would be, wouldn't it? It would be terrible if she gave the $10,000 to D-Vase. But considering I think it's a joke, it wouldn't be that bad. Now, Chuck got bumped out, and he's trying to come back in. Let's see. Chuck?
Can you hear
There
me
he
this
is.
time?
Yes.
I can hear you now.
And I can hear just one of you this time. There were like 5 echoes going on.
Is it the most important of us?
Hey, Chuck?
Yeah.
Hey, they call me Chuck. Alex, did you have a question for Chuck?
Well, I was just asking about archaeological evidence for the Book of Mormon. You know, what was the latest?
I found it.
You found it? Oh,
Yep.
looky there. That's an obsidian flint.
It
Yay.
looks like a Lamanite obsidian flint.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was,
Did you pull that out of some hip bone you found,
So I
Chuck?
found this rock, and it was made out of concrete, and it's just sitting in there. Some gold stuff. I don't know.
That is not obsidian. I think that's Ziff.
And that's obviously not gold. That's Tumbaga. How dare you?
Yeah. It's
In
tarnished.
Mormonism, nothing is what it seems.
So, did anyone ever figure out where Joseph Smith got the name Lamanite?
I guess he didn't like linoleum.
I mean, isn't
I mean-
Laman technically a character in the Old Testament somewhere?
Yes, he's the father of Rachel and Leah, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true? If that's true, I'm amazing.
It is true. Yeah.
Good.
It's
Wasn't
good
one of
enough for government work.
I can't speak to the second proposition.
I remember something. When I'm at that age when if I remember something, I'm amazed. Because usually I can't remember anything.
Because I was thinking the amulet of Jupiter that he carried around,
Mhm.
that was actually called a layman in a book called The Magus, where that sigil comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, hey, could that have been? But yeah, I'd forgot about layman in the Bible. So
You
that's
know
the more
what? Their
obvious one.
their father was actually Laban.
Laban, right?
So-
That's the Nephi and Laban story. Is there no layman in the Bible? Is there no help for the widow's son? I don't know. Laban, Layman. You say Laban, I say Layman. Let's call the whole thing off. It's not that big a jump, is it? It's like one letter.
Oh, and I meant to
How could he
say,
have thought of that letter, RFM? It's mind blowing.
It is. It's an M. Nobody thinks of M. Except for DG in West Texas. He's always thinking about M because he's always going,
Hey,
Hey, DG.
Hi, DG.
I like that when he does that. Are you displaying your garments? Are you flashing your garments at us? Are you peacocking us?
No.
Thank you. That's a good witness.
Those aren't his garments. Those are his fundies.
His fundies? Is that what
Yeah,
they call
his
them?
fundies. Yeah.
I hadn't heard. I don't think I've heard that one before. So, DG, tell us about your hot date. Yes, hot date.
You're
We can
muted.
all read your lips.
You're still muted.
Are you muted on purpose?
I know nothing about a hot date.
Okay, so what was your last date?
You don't have to answer that.
You don't have to
Under
answer
advice of
anything.
counsel, I will not answer that.
He just said you don't have to. And you don't. You don't have to answer anything. Good looking?
When was that's a good question. When was my last date?
I don't know. It was at least 2 weeks ago. It's only 2 weeks ago you were saying you have a hot date on Friday, so you couldn't be here, and then you weren't here, and everybody's wondering, well,
No,
that date must be going well.
I was not alleging to have a hot date. I think others were speaking in my, speaking on my behalf, saying I had a hot date. But no, there was no hot. It was hot, but it was not a date. So
what was it?
I've had other activities that I've had to be involved with.
Really?
Other sheep that are not of this fold, them too, I must also bore to death. So
That's funny because I was thinking, DG, when you were talking about, or RFM, when you were talking about people thinking that DG would have a really hot date. There's that passage in the Book of Mormon about the people who are given the gift of great faith.
Yeah, and I don't possess it. So anyway, sorry to be such a DG downer, but no hot date.
Okay, so you haven't been around these parts much. You've been missing in action, and everybody's been missing you because apparently people like you.
Well, yeah, which just floors me. I mean, I appreciate that. I really do. But at the same time, and I told Alex this earlier, I just, I kind of don't get that. But
Brownie and others. Brownie says you're getting married, and that I think it was just recently, earlier this week, when you weren't here. And no Molly. Molly wasn't here either. No Molly's here.
Yeah.
She wasn't here.
Yeah.
No Molly's here. Wasn't here, and so everybody was thinking that you'd run off to Vegas to get married.
Mm-hmm.
The two of you.
at this point in my life, if I ran off to Vegas, it would not be to get married. I did that the first time. Eloped to
Did you
Vegas.
really?
Yes. I think I told you this before, but for those tuning in for the first time, eloped to Vegas, and as much as an LDS couple could elope to Vegas, and we got married in the temple, in the Vegas temple on 9/9/99. So, and I will tell you that going to the Taylor County, was it Taylor? What's the county there? I'm forgetting it. Going to the courthouse to get the marriage certificate was a hoot because everybody and their dog was in Vegas that weekend for the dates, the 9/9/99, and we were the only LDS couple getting married in the Vegas temple that day, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, you did get married in the temple, though.
Yes, we did.
Okay, so
DG,
you
I
didn't
have
really-
to tell you, you sent me those photos, and that made my week. Thank you so much.
Oh, my drawings.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I've got you in the corner. I've got a pile of
It's
junk.
where I like to be.
No one puts Colby in the corner except DG. But yeah, I've got your little caricature beside you in the corner over there. And of course, you can probably see the one I did for RFM. And if you notice, before the Sunday Fun Days down here is JH Short Stack.
What?
I see that.
What? Where's Jacob Hansen?
He's down here
Under the undies.
under the.
I didn't even see him.
Yeah, that's the point.
DG, I'm working on a video. RFM knows this, but I'm working on a video responding to Jacob that is like a parody of like making a murderer. and I'm calling it Anatomy of a Clout Shark, and that masterpiece may or may not may be a feature of my documentary.
I hope so, and you have my blessing, and I think that would be absolutely marvelous. I'm still trying to figure out a way to put that on a coffee mug.
I think if you took the picture of him that you have there and just had his head poking out of the front flap of the shorts, it would be perfect. And we all know why, don't we?
Well, of course, but then I thought, that would kind of be demeaning to all of the male species. Why would we do that to
Jacob
have
is demeaning to all the male species.
but he's demeaning to all species, not just the male. I guess that would be my response. But no, I had thought of that too, RFM. So and there's still time. I could probably make a few adjustments.
If you do that, take a picture of it. I'll put it up on my Facebook page. Deal?
Okay.
One of the reasons I encourage people to use nicknames when talking about him and others is you can say whatever you want about a nickname, without naming someone in particular. So,
but in his case,
say whatever you want and name him.
Yeah, in his case, I think he knows all the nicknames. That's the beauty of it. He is known by many names, for he is Legion.
Is there anything anybody else has on their mind before we end this testimony meeting?
I've got a quick thought.
Yeah, April.
I was just I still have a bag of my garments in my closet, and I want to ceremonially burn them because I live in the middle of the country and have a burn barrel.
Sell them on eBay.
Sell them on eBay.
Then they'll end up at Coachella. If you sell them on eBay.
That's a good idea too. Anyways, I was just I didn't know if anybody else had ceremonially disposed of them or if everybody else just threw them in the garbage.
Well, I suppose the funny and ironic part of that is that you're doing it to make a statement. I mean, burning bras back in the early 70s when I was a kid.
No,
making
I need
a statement by burning, but according to the church policy, that's the correct way.
That's true.
To
Yeah.
dispose of garments, as opposed to just throwing them away, where anybody could find one and put it on and think it looked good and go to Coachella.
I did see that.
So what you do to make it completely opposite is you put them up on eBay as slightly used.
Slightly used underwear. That way you can charge more.
Under the description, signs and tokens.
That's right.
There you go.
Slightly used magic Mormon underwear.
Or spent tokens.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ryan McDude is saying, sell them. I did. $30.
Oh, there you go. And then I wanted to say my favorite word. I'm a nurse, so it's a medical term. It's hemochromatosis. Too much iron in your blood.
I am so sorry. I was putting up I heard the hemochromatosis.
Too much iron. Too much iron in your blood.
But what is that referring to? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm a nurse.
She's a nurse.
It's my favorite word.
Oh, it's just your favorite word. So you can teach
going off of
hemochromatosis.
Hemochromatosis.
Tonight's episode of Mormonism After Dark is brought to you by hemochromatosis.
And the treatment is to just bleed you. Like literally, you just take a unit of blood and throw it away.
You don't use medical leeches anymore?
Well, I have seen medical maggots. Yeah. But I've not seen medical
burn victims.
To debriding the wound.
I had a patient come in with his own one time.
I've heard of that.
Have you seen medical tilapia?
No, because I'm in rural Northeast Oregon. We don't have that option. But
so I've seen it done. Like some major hospitals in the U.S. took it from South America. But what they would do for burn victims is the maggots would let it breathe, but then they would take the skin of tilapia and put it over the burn. And
I've seen pictures of it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's weird looking.
It's weird, but I mean, there's almost what was it, like a 90% success rate in
All the artificial tissues are awesome. Sorry, I'm also a wound nurse, so now you're going to get me on a tangent.
I feel like seeing all 9 of us here, April talking about her favorite word, makes me want to share my favorite word with you, which is the word syzygy. And syzygy is like when the planets align, but it also can mean like, I don't know, just like kismet, like the idea of things lining up. And we're experiencing a moment of syzygy right now, the 9 of us. We've got Alice in the middle.
And I made my husband leave the room because I was talking about wounds. So.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Colby.
I called you Alice, Arvin.
Well, you called me Bill earlier. I know you tried to weasel your way out of it, but I'm not buying it.
Okay, so my last bit that I had to throw in was this. So remember last week when I brought up the Lego thing when you were when you guys were on the what was it, the Clout Shark spiral?
Yes.
Yeah, and then I saw your stream today about the Lego thing.
Oh my Lord!
4.5 hours of it. Yeah.
Did you watch it all?
Yes, dude, I've been following it since the 23rd of May. It's been developing that long.
You need better hobby.
That's almost 2 weeks.
Yeah,
maybe it is 2 weeks.
Well, there's a lot of side stuff that's going on with it too, like the commentary, watching it break containment from YouTube, and getting out into the wider world where it hit the Tribune. I think it's been on Fox now, and CBS I think has done a light touch on it,
Really?
or NBC, one of the two. So
well, there's a lot of people who are just very, very passionate about this, and the ones who are passionate are all passionate on one side, on the YouTube guy, the Reckless Ben guy. I haven't seen anybody being passionate on the other side, on the Lego side. But then there's another group of people who are wondering what the big deal is, and they're kind of tired of it. And where do you fall, Nanya? Are you tired of it yet, or are you still passionate about it?
My wife loves the drama of it all.
Yeah.
Because it's that it's kind of like our current day Tiger King, like the Tiger King was during the pandemic, because there's so much crap going on, and in the greater worldview, it's such a low stakes thing that people are so emotionally invested in.
This is what I was wondering, because on Monday Night Show, I was just hearing about it for the first time. I go, why is this a big deal? It's just a standard civil case, and this happens all the time.
But it wasn't the first time you heard about it. You heard about it from me.
And I'm going to take your word for that, because my memory is not so good. So, Nanya, I'm taking your word for that. I just want to say that I've been trying to think about it during this time period. Why are people so upset about it? Nobody got killed. Nobody got assaulted. Nobody got sexually abused. There's no kids, involved. And then I started thinking, maybe that's why. And then you just said it, right? Maybe that's why, because it is sufficiently low stakes that we can afford to allow ourselves to get emotionally invested in it.
And people love Legos. People love Legos.
People love Legos. You have a wronged elderly person, who was just trying to do right by his kids as part of the storyline. Personally, I appreciated your coverage, because I've been looking for some more neutral coverage of it, just because I don't want to fall into that echo chamber of like, they're totally justified, because there are some things that are really off. The whole aspect of self-serve justice to an extent.
Vigilantism,
Yep.
What was it? Was it Doug Llewellyn who used to say, if you have a problem with your neighbor, don't take the law into your own hands. You take them to court.
Yes. The People's Court, Judge Wapner.
Doug Llewellyn. Is that the right name? The bailiff?
That wasn't the bailiff. That was the guy who was the host who talked to people before the case and after the case.
Yes. And we'd always say that at the end of every show. You don't take the law into your own hand. You take them to court.
Exactly.
Chuck, did you have a question you wanted to ask that's not about Legos?
My question is not nearly as much fun as you guys are having here with this conversation. I actually came to ask a serious question, since we got a couple of excellent attorneys here that have a mind for asking these things about text in particular. You, Colby, have been spending a lot of time, I know, working with AI to do some textual analysis. I've got a little machine I do too for KJV comparisons, doing some of that stuff. So I am always curious about other people's settings, what prompts are working for them, how they're configuring their data to make that work. you don't have to go into it here tonight. I know that's kind of maybe a bigger discussion, but I would love for you to do some kind of demo on that sometime and get into all the nerdy details of that.
Well,
Sure.
Colby, what if you answered the main part of that question and in terms of what you've got coming up regarding short stack?
Oh, I don't think I was going to use AI
Maybe it's
on
somebody else. I'm
that
sorry,
at
I've got something
all.
else. I apologize.
No, that's
Colby.
okay.
You answer
No,
it
that's
any way
okay.
you want. I was thinking about someone else who's actually coming on Mormonism Live Wednesday. It's someone that Bill found who's a criminologist and is applying this to short stack and other people like Robert Gurr and seeing if what she can find out or discern from her training about how it is that they're dealing with issues or not dealing with them. It's going to be
Oh, that's
incredible.
interesting.
But go ahead,
So
Colby.
I'll answer you really quick, Chuck, but I actually, and I'd be happy if you want to talk over email, I'd be happy to have you be part of this. I've actually gotten this question a few times, so I was thinking about doing a bigger video explaining. I'd be happy to have you as kind of my foil as I go through that. But the basic answer I'd give you is, because I run our AI implementation at work for the division that I work for, you have to, first, you have to understand the way to engineer prompts to not give you just confirmation bias. And I'll give you an example. A few days ago, I responded to that video from Latter Day Logic where he's arguing with someone back and forth, and he literally starts accusing the person of using a fallacy, and he types into AI, what fallacy is it when, and then he's typing out what he thinks the other person's argument is. You have to think about the limitations of what these machines do. And because an LLM is going to want to give you the answer that you want, you have to learn how to engineer the prompt and ask the question in a way that doesn't beg the question and suggest an answer. Ways that you can protect against that, ways that I've tried to protect against that, is I've also built my own specific bot that has long-term directives in it. So I've told it, when you are giving me answers, this is my ongoing expectation of you. Then you can also, if you're doing work in projects, you can build in specific like resources. So like, for example, I have a bot that has the 1830 edition of the Book of Mormon, and I'm going to spoil this to Dan Vogel. A PDF of every version of Dan Vogel's five volumes of early Mormon documents. So like, that's some of the long-term resources and long-term prompt and planning that you can build in to make them as secure as you can. But here's the other thing about it. You have to understand that AI isn't like a fount of all knowledge. You have to understand where it's pulling its information from, its limitations. And anyways, I'm passionate about that topic. So thank you for the question.
And one thing to jump in real quick, because I do a ton of work with AI too, different AI will give you oftentimes different results too. So like some AI is better for others, right? Because I use ChatGPT for some things. I use Claude and Gemini for other things. And then I use like DeepSeek. I use DeepSeek AI, and I have bots built the same too. Like Colby said, to like, give the preset parameters of what I want, whether it's objective or I have another bot just because of, like living in Mongolia. It's like, all right, there might be a bit more of a help me analyze this from the lens of a spiritual perspective here in Mongolia, right? So it's designed to do specifically that. So yeah, Colby's right.
The models are all trained on different sets, so you're not dealing with what they've been taught recently. It's what they initially were started out being trained with. So Claude was trained on prose. There was a massive prose database that they gained access to, which got them in trouble, that they then fed into their bots. So Claude is very good at writing prose and giving you prose answers. OpenAI's models were all built on linguistics. So you can ask very specific questions about language, and it will give you a really accurate answer. Whereas Gemini was trained on the search data that Google had gathered over the last 30 years. So what are you aiming for? What are you trying to research, Chuck?
Oh, in general, I find AIs annoying. General AI is annoying, just simply because when you have some expertise in something, that's when you realize how bad AI is out of the box. However, applied AI, where you can narrow it down to your data sets and do comparisons or be specific, like Colby's talking about with, getting your prompts down really well that are very specific on this thing. You expect these types of results, that kind of thing. That's just what I'm interested in. I use it for all my Mormon research stuff that I just nerd out on. I do a lot of comparisons with KJV, with Adam Clark, with the Hebrew, these types of things. So I'm really interested in other people that are doing similar types of comparative text analysis, especially what's working for them and how it's being set up in their cases.
With the language models and all the foundation models that everyone's working on these days are really good at finding relationships between disparate or individual segments of data. So they're really good at working in what's called the Zettelkasten method, which is a card catalog. Basically, you create links between objects in your database. So the AI is very good about saying, "Oh, I know what that is, and here is this list of resources that I'm aware of," and they're able to make connections for you. They make relationships more visible. But as far as their general knowledge, it's actually very poor.
Yeah.
And what you're dealing with is a limitation in memory. So the longer the conversation goes, the further along your chat becomes, the more it forgets. So you have to constantly remind it, unless you have resources that are saved or objects that you save for the model to look at constantly.
And that's the other thing about when I'm talking about understanding their limitations. All that stuff Alex just said means that I would only use AI to do very specific things. So a lot of times, as RFM knows, I will use it to run transcripts, or I will use it to run like scriptural language, Joseph Smith's letters. And I believe that AI is competent at that task because that is what its superpower is, at least like the large language models. That's what they're doing. They're looking for associations between things. So if you're just asking it to pattern match, I feel like AI, and then you can check it on the back end, right? When it's giving you matches. I feel like that's when AI, like I am not someone who trusts AI to do everything. I am someone who believes that AI is very competent at very specific things. And I think when you understand that, you can try and use it in a way that uses it as a tool rather than using it to like do your thinking for you. It is so cringe to me when I see people like posting an answer that comes from AI about just a general informational question. And they're just like, see, it said what I wanted. And it's like, well, yeah, because you told it to. Like, that's what it does. Congratulations.
It's very
your dog brought it back.
It's like a dog. It's very biddable. It's going to give you an answer, and it's going to give you one it thinks you want.
Exactly.
I don't remember if it was Mike Hurley or CGP Grey or any of those other guys that work on the Relay FM podcast network. One of their talking heads, or one of the hosts said something similar to, AI is very good at giving you answers based on the information that you present it to. It is terrible at giving you information or creating new answers or creating new objects to present you. That's when it starts to hallucinate, because they're programmed to interact with humans in a very positive way. So it's always going to give you the answer that it thinks you want, just as Colby has mentioned before. But if you dump a bunch of text on the model in the project that you're working on, you say, analyze such and such. It's very good at finding those relationships. But beyond that, I mean, good luck.
Alex, you just described short stack. He's very good at giving you answers you never ask, or giving you answers to questions you never asked.
Yeah.
Can I tell you one?
And the longer his debate goes on, the more he forgets. See,
and hallucinate.
Just call that your model, your short stack AI model.
One of the good ways to get a better answer out of it, all the models, is to insult them. Is to get very, to type some of the angriest things, and they'll try to apologize, and then they'll go back at what they've done. They'll check the resources that you've given it access to, and they'll try to give you the better answer based on what they have. But it sucks that you have to reach that point. You're like, this is bullshit. You're using faith affirming resources here. I know you are, because I've seen this answer from Scripture Central. 2
right.
weeks ago.
You can tell that, and I've seen that. Colby, were you trying to say something there?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing about AI that really irritates me, and then I feel like I'm about to turn into a pumpkin, so I'm going to let you guys go. I love the use of M dashes. I always have. They're very common in legal writing, as you know.
Of what?
RFM.
Of what?
M dashes. M dashes. The punctuation mark. M dashes. They're the long dash, not a hyphen. A long dash. They can be
There's
used
a
in
name
place
for
of
that.
like.
The long dash is an M dash.
It's an M dash because it's the size that an M was on a typewriter. Like it's an EM dash. That's anyways.
I never heard of that.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. A lot of lawyers use them a lot, so I thought that I was in.
I always do that. I always hit my hyphen twice, so
That's
that
what an
my
M
word
dash is.
processor will make it a long an
That's
M
what an
dash.
M.
Apparently,
That's what an M dash is. Anyways, I've always loved M dashes because I love writing sentences that are way too complex, and because AI, at least when ChatGPT first started, it uses M dashes a lot. A lot of people, if you used M dashes before, have decided to like make this change so that people don't think their stuff is written by AI. But I think no, screw you, ChatGPT. I was using them first. So
I use
anyways,
those, and I also use a lot of semicolons. The semicolon and I have become good friends.
I'm a fan of
Semicolons are
stacked
off
M
art.
dashes. So you have a semicolon M dash, you have a comma M dash, colon M dash, exclamation M dash. Bring it all back. Bring all
I
those
try and
old
avoid
traditions.
commas. I eschew commas. I think people use commas too much, and I don't like it because when I'm reading something, I want it structured. I can just read right through, and when I get to a comma in my head, I stop for a second. I pause, like I was taught. And then I can, so it's like it's an obstacle. It's not something I can't get around, but something I'd rather not get around if I don't have to.
I was going to ask if you were a weirdo, but you're an attorney, so yes.
How else are you going to interject things?
See, the semicolon allows me to put sentence fragments together and pretend that it's a complete sentence.
Well, I mean,
Well, this
and I
tells
mean,
me a bit
AI
of this tells me a bit of Radio Free's legal strategy. Is basically if you keep on hitting them hard and don't speak with using where commas would be appropriate, it's hard for them to throw an objection.
How does that
I
work?
will tell you that I do try and follow Hemingway's admonition about writing simply. Anybody read Hemingway here? Everybody will raise their hand, I hope.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, he wrote very simply, and he was known for that. And he was famous for saying, there's only one thing harder than writing a simple sentence, and that's writing another one. And a simple sentence is one you get the first time through. And you just continue and you read the story. And it's not something you have to go back and say, oh, so what did that say again? So, yeah, that's what he's known for. And if you read it, it's immediately evident. And I try and do that. I'm certainly not as simple as he, but part of that is trying to structure my sentence in such a way that I don't have to use these commas in ordinary. I don't like clauses. I just want my sentence and sometimes a semicolon. Okay, who's on the phone?
Yeah.
That was my alarm.
Well, that's,
Is that the same person who burped?
Yeah, I mean the
Okay.
thing with AI too, it's like, I mean, everyone here is right. People in the chat, some people like it, some people don't, but it's like it is very limited and it can hallucinate. It can also do kind of wacky things. I woke up this morning to there was a robot that wearing a wig for like a little robot parade in China, and it decided to roundhouse kick a small child for no reason. Right. I shared that on Facebook. That was pretty funny. But all joking aside, you really like have to use it for very specific things. Personally, I just use it for like YouTube metadata and like SEO and some light thumbnail alterations because it excels in that. But when it comes to like other things, then you're gonna, you do have to keep it simple because the more complex it gets, like your prompt, it can actually confuse the AI, and then it comes up with all these weird things.
Yeah, I just hate when people give AI directions to overcome, national defense systems and start firing off the atomic bombs at each other. That's what I hate.
Yeah, use it for its intended purpose, claymation.
Exactly. And getting back to your wonderful Let's Disagree show and the wonderful thumbnails and the claymation you use for those, I absolutely adore those. I think it's splendid. Everybody give that a listen. We're going to close now. We're going to stop talking about AI and grammar. I know I can hear the awes from here. But it's great to hang out with you and talk about things because, I don't have to be interested in things for you to talk about them on this show. Because the show isn't about me. It's about you and the really boring stuff you want to talk about. And with that, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you next Friday for another episode of Mormonism After Dark. And let's see if I can do this right. Okay. I'm going to hit the first button in stream. It says play outro and in stream. If this works, this will be the last thing you see from me. Everybody say good night. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Good
Bye bye.